So, our topic is cardiac output, blood flow, and blood pressure. Cardiac output. What is cardiac output? Is the volume of blood pumped per minute by each ventricle. Now, if we go to the formula, we can find that cardiac output equals to heart rate into stroke volume. So, heart rate is number of times your heart will contract per minute. It is average 70 beats per minute. Stroke volume is the blood pumped per beat by each ventricle. So, the amount of blood that is ejected by each ventricle in each cardiac cycle is known as stroke volume. Average 7 to 80 ml per beat of stroke volume is ejected by the heart in each cardiac cycle. Total blood volume is about 5.5 liter in a human body. Now we know that cardiac output equals to heart rate and stroke volume. So the factors that will regulate the cardiac rate and the stroke volume will actually regulate and determine what is the cardiac output in a given human body. Without neuronal influences, SA node will drive heart at rate of its own spontaneous activity. Therefore, sympathetic and parasympathetic innervations are present that influence the heart rate by influencing the SA node, that is the pacemaker of the heart. Now, what are the mechanisms that will affect heart rate? That is chronotropic effect. What is chronotropic effect? That is sympathetic and parasympathetic influences are known as chronotropic effect. If it is positive chronotropic effect, the heart rate increases, that is sympathetic stimulation. If it is parasympathetic stimulation, then negative chronotropic effect, the heart rate will gradually decrease. Autonomic innervation of SA node is main control of the heart rate. Sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve fibers modify the rate by spontaneous depolarization. Cardiac rate regulation. We know norepinephrine and epinephrine stimulate the opening of the pacemaker HCN channels. Now, how does it take place? You know, every action potential is generated by depolarization. So, when sinoatrial node depolarizes faster, that increases heart rate. Acetylcholine promotes the opening of potassium channels, and when there is resultant potassium outflow, it will counter the sodium influx and gradually will slow the depolarization and therefore decreases the heart rate. Now, vagus nerve, it decreases the activity by parasympathetic stimulation, whereas sympathetic endings in atria and ventricles increases the strength of contraction and that gradually increases the heart rate. Now, stroke volume. Stroke volume can be determined by three variables, that is end diastolic volume, which is also known as the preload of the heart, total peripheral resistance, and contractility. End diastolic volume is the volume of blood in ventricles at the end of each diastole. As we know that it will gradually reflects the amount of venous return, and we can also say the volume in the right atria. Why we are saying so? It is because we know that in the cardiac cycle, the right ventricle 70% is filled by without active pumping of blood, and 30% of the blood is then remain pumped by the atrial systole. So we know that the end diastolic volume is actually the volume of blood which is being pumped in the ventricles, that is the preload in the heart before contraction. Now, total peripheral resistance is also known as the afterload of the heart, that is the impedance or the resistance to the blood flow that will prevent the flow of the blood from the heart to go into the systemic circulation. If you'll go back to the coronary circulation, you can see the table in which there is a net pressure difference of -1 mmHg between aorta and left ventricle. This will create a difference in pressure gradient and will not allow the blood to flow against this. So the blood has to be pumped with more rigorous contractions to overcome the impedance, that is known as the afterload. So that will gradually decrease the stroke volume. Now, contractility. Contractility is the strength of the ventricular contraction or the strength of or the tensile strength of the muscle fibers that we are going to discuss in the next coming slides.
Go.
Now, Frank-Starling law of the heart. It states that the strength of ventricular contraction varies directly with end diastolic volume. Just imagine that there is a wire with an elastic property and it is being stretched up to its maximum tensile strength. So we know that force is equal to pressure upon area. So pressure is the column of water that is exerting the pressure actually in the heart muscle. So if the pressure increases, then force of contraction definitely increases. If the force of contraction increases, then EDV increases and myocardium is stretched more. causing greater contraction, and therefore the stroke volume gradually increases. So we can say that the amount of stroke volume supplied to the systemic circulation in each cycle increases, therefore the heart rate is gradually decreased. The number of times the blood has to be pumped or the cardiac cycle has to work will gradually decrease, and this will decrease the impeding load on a patient who is suffering from heart diseases will gradually get relief from this property. Now, extrinsic control of contractility is by parasympathetic stimulation and sympatho. Go. So we know that the parasympathetic stimulation will gradually cause hyperpolarization because of the efflux of the potassium channels, whereas sympathetic stimulation causes release of acetylcholine and epinephrine and norepinephrine that leads to gradual depolarization. As you can see in the figure A, that is the normal pacemaker potential. In the figure B, the pacemaker potentials have gradually decreased in times, and in figure C you can see there are number of increased depolarization action potentials within a same number of time. Now, as we have seen that cardiac output depends upon two factors, stroke volume and heart rate. So the factors that or the determinants that will influence the stroke volume and heart rate will gradually affect the cardiac output, be it venous return and diastolic volume, or be it the afterload of the heart, be it the age-related factors, contractility of the heart, associated diseases, all will affect gradually the cardiac output. Thank you.